I'm very happy to have Albert Yuen as our special guest.
Love the environment you've got set up here. This is actually perfect. And I specialize in zoning analysis.
In your opinion, how do you see the future of Ontario real estate?
I named my company 11 years ago, Kych Co, with my wife.
Yeah.
The idea is to connect the dots so that people can ascend and flourish, coordinate and understand all parties, not only the client's needs, but the architect need, the engineer's needs. And there's like 4 different types of engineers.
All right, so today I'm very happy to have Albert Yuen as our special guest. He's a custom home consultant working for Kych Co. Today we have some questions about in terms of the process of getting a custom home, buying land or buying a rundown house, trying to rebuild and stuff like that. And thank you for your time to come and able to give us some insight in terms of this type of properties and this type of process. Thank you so much, Albert.
No problem. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm very honored to be here, to be quite honest. I love the environment you've got set up here. This is actually perfect.
Yeah.
Makes me feel a little relaxed.
That's good.
Let's speak candidly today.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'd love to share a lot of information of what I deal with on a daily basis as a custom home consultant.
That's amazing.
And and if you have any questions, please shoot away.
For sure. First of all, Albert, can you tell us about a bit more about yourself? How long have you been in the industry? What do you like to do? Stuff like that. And how did you get into this business?
Okay, I'll try to make it short.
Sure.
But I've been in the industry for around 13 to 14 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, my company Kych Co has been around since 2013. This is our 11th year.
Okay.
And we've gone through quite a journey, in fact. Anyone in the real estate world or in the design or construction world has been through a cycle.
Right.
And what I call the boom cycle.
Right.
Now, what drives our whole industry to move, whether it be in the real estate end of things or whether they do design and construction, is changed over the years.
Right.
In the beginning, when I first got in, we were doing a lot of restaurants, a lot of retail office, hospitality. And then later on, around 2017, 2018, it all starts shifting towards residential. And what I mean by it starts shifting, as in the funding, the way people finance projects, it all went to residential. At some point in time, everyone was buying land, buying properties. It didn't matter what, if they understood it or not.
Right.
And during that time was when we faced some of the struggles.
Right.
And also some of the wins. And so I'd like to share some of those experiences with you today as well.
That'd be perfect, yeah.
But ultimately, my company, we do design and construction in both the commercial and residential side of things.
Yeah.
And I specialize in zoning analysis.
That's great.
Yeah, and so therefore, majority of my clients, whether they were in the beginning or now they are investors of real estate in one shape or form. Mm-hmm. And that's where I do my magic, right?
Okay, cool. That's beautiful, because a lot of people, when they buy a piece of land, for example, or they buy a really rundown house, they don't really know what they can do with it. And that's the most common question me as a realtor that we get from my clients is okay, if I buy this, can I build this? Which part of the land I can actually build? Can I build another structure? That's a very common one. They want to build another structure, stuff like that. So how do you go about in terms of doing that type of analysis? And then, city bylaws also changes from time to time, right? So how do you keep yourself up to date in terms of that kind of knowledge?
Got it. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of questions jam-packed into that one question, right? But I guess it all starts off with how we communicate with our clients and how we understand our clients.
Right.
They may come in many shapes and forms and angles. Some may be investors already. Some are just trying to get a renovation done. Yeah. Some may cross over into permits, and some may not. Right. And there's a lot of gray area in the field of construction bylaw and the field of just bylaws in general. So it's important to ask some questions to the client first. Are you an investor? Are you buying this property to flip? Are you buying this as an end user because you're going to live here for X amount of years? Yeah. Or you're trying to do a burst strategy, which we should dive deep into, but that will probably be a whole nother, chat. Yes. But we'll touch base on a few of these things. So once we understand where the client's coming from, as a custom home consultant or what they call prime consultant in larger projects where we have to essentially coordinate and understand all parties, not only the client's needs, but the architect need, the engineer's needs. And there's like 4 different type of engineers. There are consultants, designers, interior designers, just drafters, BCIN, guys that make this whole ship move.
Yeah.
The way I see it is I need to understand, also I would love my client to understand that anything in the real estate world is like a school bus, not a Porsche. You can't just turn left or turn right really fast. Like it doesn't work. The whole bus will flip. And in fact, without all the people in it, you can't really make the vehicle move. And so planning is key. Now, when it comes to planning in any sort of project, where it doesn't even have to be in real estate, like timeline and budgets are massively important.
Right.
And this leads into what I do specifically, which is the zoning analysis.
Okay.
We need to understand by doing due diligence exactly which processes do we need to go through. For example, if a client comes in and says, I want to do a garden suite, for example, what process do I have to go through? Generally, they would ask a few people. They might call the city and ask, or they will most often ask the realtor representative, because that's their first point of contact to this property.
Right.
So who else better to ask? For those that call into the city, bravo to you, because you're taking action. You're taking action to take the thing under control. One of the things we've experienced through the years is a city is composed of many different compartments and departments.
Right.
What one department tell you might not be the same as another department. Yes. I'm sure we've all heard the stories.
I have experienced that.
For example, the examiner says, yes, approved, all good, no problem. Yeah. Inspector says, I don't know, I need you to look into that.
Right.
And so you might even have conflicting departments within the same organization. And so how we intend to kind of or try to avoid as much conflict or revisions, which is the culprit to all things losing money.
Right.
We want to understand all of the different processes that we might go through. And then we start talking to the party with data and conviction of what we're trying to do. It's just for the sake of clarity and not surprising anyone along the line. Our zoning analysis, therefore, provides all of the due diligence, the summary of all the bylaws, how to interpret them, and ultimately provides a visual in both 2D and 3D of what you can and cannot do.
So is it fair to say that this would be the first step of the whole process, right? Like in terms of understanding what is the potential of this property that we just bought or we're planning to buy, so that we can make an informed decision.
Actually, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So before we even commit to any project, and oftentimes before you even put down the offer, we need to figure out, can I do what I think I can do?
Okay.
And another way, there's also the feasibility portion of this, where should you do what you want to do?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And
that's true.
Usually, we meet the client after all of these decisions have been made. So the offer has put down. It's not too late. Well, at least now you need to know exactly what you need to do.
Right.
So through this analysis, we figure out all the processes that we may need to go through, the timelines, and also potentially the costs.
Right.
Of going through the full process until the building permit is in hand.
Right.
Which is the ultimate goal here.
Okay. So that basically summarizes what kind of a role you play throughout this process.
Yeah.
But my understanding is your company actually takes it further, right? Like in terms of the whole process. Let's say I bring in a client and say, hey, we're looking at this piece of land. This piece of land in terms of location is perfect for my client, right? And then I kind of introduce you to your company, and what they're looking for is from end to end, like from the analysis part all the way to they can build a custom built home where they can live in. Like, let's say, how would that whole process look like?
So in our company, we do things in a particular way.
Okay.
I'll definitely answer the question, but it's about what comes first, what comes second. You need all of the components, right?
Yes.
You need the design and you need to build.
Right.
To simplify things, I like to break down design into 2 components.
Yeah.
One is conceptual, and one is permits.
Yeah.
Permits being drafting, engineering, going through the city processes, like minor variants, like building permit, site plan approval, all of those things.
Right.
That's on what I call the permit side.
Yeah.
On the front end side is conceptuals.
Yeah.
And in my position, in my company, I like to position conceptuals on the front end.
Yeah.
Because not everyone can understand a 2D drawing.
Right. Wait, hold on.
They want to be part of the video.
Yes.
Yeah. Join us.
All right, keep going.
So, now this one's jealous.
You can hold one.
Conceptuals first.
Yeah.
I like to do conceptual first, and whenever we can.
Okay.
It's because I need to ensure that the client can visualize what we're talking about.
Right.
And that our team can also visualize
Yeah.
what they're talking about. We need to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes you say red, I say red,
Yeah.
it's two different reds. I promise you that.
It's true.
Even if we have a visual,
Yeah.
that red could still be skewed when you're looking at an iPad versus an Asus screen.
That's
right?
a very good point.
So
Yeah.
imagine you don't have any visuals in the beginning.
Yeah.
How much is left in the open, airy-fairy
Yeah.
world, right? And that's very scary for me.
Right.
Especially when you're coming in as an investor. Like, how on earth are we supposed to capture all of that without some visuals?
Yeah.
So starting with the zoning report, we get the first set of visuals and data.
Yeah.
Visuals alone are not informative enough. You need data.
Yeah.
With that, then you decide all the processes you have to go through so you can budget time frame and money to say, yes, let's go ahead. Then we take them through design, conceptual, all of the colors, the fields, the materials, everything, so that becomes data for our budgeting and our estimation stage down the road. And so yes, we do, our company does everything from conceptual to permits and ultimately to the build side of things.
That's really great. That's really great.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So throughout your career, right? Is there any particular project that is very notable, you're particularly proud of, that you can tell us more about?
1000%. Recently, we completed a full custom home build in Etobicoke. I love that area because the zoning bylaws have changed a few times.
Right.
But they're a lot more lenient on minor variances too. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you understand this. When you build a house, you want to list, when you put it onto a sale, right? You want to list it as a certain range of square footage and things like that. It's a lot more lenient, right?
Okay.
It's complicated bylaws, but they're lenient. So people have gone through the minor variance processes, and so you just need to know how to navigate it and know which, for example, height.
Okay.
Many times people go past the height restriction, and therefore what is considered reasonable and what is considered absolutely ridiculous, right?
Okay.
So because there's precedence in that town, there's a lot of good things, as in less revisions, better understanding upfront that you can work with as you're going through this building permit and minor variance process. But ultimately, that project that I'm talking about is modern design, fully renovated inside, outside, front yard, backyard. You go there, it's like an urban retreat.
Okay.
You wouldn't know that you are in Toronto.
Okay.
And I've got that a lot when people have visited the property.
That's cool. That's
and,
cool.
So that's one notable project, and we continue in that area and others. I mean, I just mentioned one area that we're working with that might suit different investors' needs.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Especially, for example, if they wanted to get into multifamily dwellings, multiplexes with laneway suite, garden suite, coach houses. There's a certain area for that.
Right.
And then if you're looking for more of a resort type, larger lands, sleeping cabins, secondary dwelling units, there's a separate area for that.
Right.
But ultimately, we love working on unique projects where the client really has a clear vision and they want to feel a certain way. That's where we kind of shine as a company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess in terms of the clients that you probably have many different types, right? One is probably very high net worth people who are looking to build a dream home, like no compromises. That's why they're looking to custom build. Some people are more, as you said, like investors maybe looking at multi-unit properties, multiplexes and stuff like that. So based on the new changes on the policies, they're a lot more open to like building multiplexes and stuff like that. Do you see that as a huge opportunities, like, or in your opinion, like how do you see the future of Ontario real estate?
That's a very broad thing. The changes are just recently. There's a new building code coming in. There's a whole new set of bylaws in each municipality. But all in all, I think we are experiencing the same problem, which is what they are coining as the housing crisis.
Right.
Bylaw reforms is just one part of it, right? But ultimately, we need more living space for growing families.
Yeah.
And so I see a lot more multiplex coming up in areas that might not have had multiplex before, even garden suites in certain areas where you've never seen it before. Yeah. And so we'll be working with the city, and I say working with because we're never working against. Like we're just trying to find a mutual understanding and get the process going through. They're so busy, they're swamped to no tomorrow. It doesn't matter which municipality, small or big town. They're going through a lot of volume and a lot of training and restructuring, IT restructuring, everything restructuring. And that's all to hopefully help ease that housing crisis problem, right? And we all kind of have our parts to do with it, and we all have to work together to, get people into their homes, right? Get people what they need, which is more living spaces, right? More affordable living, just for people that want it for enjoyment, right? Yeah. How to get there faster, in a more enjoyable process, right?
That's great. Okay, well, we talked about like real estate, talk about work stuff quite a bit. Let's talk about something more fun, like in terms of yourself, like what do you like to do most? And
now I can relax a bit.
Yeah, you can relax a bit. Yes.
No, thanks for asking. So, networking is generally really fun.
Yes.
For me, I find it very important, not just for business growth but personal growth.
For sure.
And when I named my company 11 years ago, Kych Co, with my wife. Yeah. We called it & Co. Yeah. It's because we understood the importance of just collaboration and diversity. And I live by that every day in the actions I do.
That's great.
The idea is to connect the dots so that people can ascend and flourish. Yeah. And sometimes I might not be involved, but I'd be very happy to say, hey, I've connected so-and-so and so-and-so, and now they're hitting it off, right? Yeah. It makes me feel very good, right? Stepping back in the background now and then seeing what's going on. And I think that organically drives business and personal growth in all aspects. So how I'm doing that a lot recently, I've been doing a lot of golf. Nice. I'm a terrible golfer. People that play golf with me usually have to carry me through the tournaments. But I'm getting better, and that's something I find very entertaining.
Yeah, that's something I'm trying to get into.
It's a love-hate sport. It's like a tango. I love it, but I hate it, right?
Yeah.
But
that's good.
Yeah. How about you?
Me? I love playing music.
Oh yeah.
So I play.
We should jam. I play piano.
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. I do a lot of singing. I do a lot of guitar playing, and I play badminton weekly. And just getting into golf. Like I had 2 lessons, so I have a long way to go. So I'm sure I'm more terrible than you.
We'll see about that. Let's hit the virtual range soon.
For sure.
But awesome. But other than that, it's just family. Yeah. It's family. I got 2 kids. Yeah. And they're growing up, and dealing with just parenthood and fatherhood can be frustrating, but very rewarding at the same time. I'm just very happy to have a very good support network of personal relationships, advisors, and partners, right? That make it more enjoyable journey.
Well, family is number one, as always, right? Yeah. And it's great, and I know you love the party too. So don't miss that party.
I do. I don't deny it. It's what made me who I am today.
Of course.
Those nights of karaoke,
of course,
of poker nights, those all created memories that you cannot forget. And sometimes you circle back into a business outing, you see someone and say, hey, how's it going? That camaraderie is hard to build. Like you really have to understand each other outside of work.
Yes, that's how you build relationships and friendships, right? Yeah. So I think that's very important.
Yeah. So recently, golf has taken over all of the time, including the kids. So not much poker going on. I'm a terrible poker player.
Like how often do you play golf?
Golf is twice a week.
Twice a week. So do you are you taking lessons, or are you just go on and play?
I'm just really bits and pieces of advice from people that play
awesome.
much better
That's
than
great.
me.
That's great.
Work on that wrist, work on the swing. That's how I learned.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And so far I love it. We should play sometime soon.
Oh, for sure, for sure. We should have some event and then just have an excuse to drink and golf at the same time, right?
Yeah. We've been to the last couple of weeks. Me and you just bump into like 2 or 3 events, right, around the local area, and so it's a very supportive community, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of events going on that we can meet each other and also other new people in the industry.
Yeah.
And I think we should continue that kind of vibe, right?
For sure, 100%. Well, Albert, I would really like to thank you for your time to come here and chat with me and tell me all about what you do, what your company does. And I look forward to more collaboration going forward.
1000%.
And hopefully, we can, make some deals together.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thank you so
Business and
much.
friendship.
All right.
Shake on it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
For your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.